So here we go, the title of the live stream. Finally going through it. So I've heard about this book many times. I used to have a copy that I somehow lost it. Got it again. We're just going to work through it. Speed Mechanics for Lead Guitar. Mastering Lead Guitar Technique by Troy Stetna. It's a classic. It's a classic. So the back of the book, and I'm just going to read through stuff. Read through things, play it, and I'm not going to be showing what's inside the book because I think that might be giving away too much for free, and I don't want to, be disrespectful to the person, to Troy who made this, and I guess Hal Leonard for putting it together and putting it out there. So hopefully this will be viewed as good promotion and good discussion. Anyway, because I thought about it today, it's like, well, how would I feel if somebody did this with one of my courses? I think I'd like that. I think I'd appreciate it. I guess I won't know until I see someone do it, if they ever do. Anyway, so Speed Mechanics for Lead Guitar, according to this back of the book, is the ultimate technique book for today's faster playing styles, a roadmap to mastering the many facets of guitar. This book then goes beyond technique to help you tap your inner creativity and discover your own original style. It includes Part 1 Mechanics, Part 2 Rhythm, and Part 3 Creativity. So, yes, the ultimate technique book for today's faster playing styles. This was made when? 1990. Hot damn. Well, I know things have changed since then. I know there's an update to this book. I saw it advertised, or not advertised, I saw it listed on Amazon when I went to get this one. I thought about getting the update, but I was like, yeah, let's go through the original one first. Pew over on Kick, hello. Troy said he doesn't even own those guitars in the photo. They were placed in by the photo editor. Oh, how nice. Why couldn't he even use this real guitar for it? Alright, so here we go. Continuing to read. That was important for me to read every single thing. Andrew, you say it's not an update. In reality, it's an entirely new book. Oh, interesting. Just a whole new... Okay. How do you feel about the new book versus the old one? Yeah, let's read the foreword here. We'll do that. This book teaches what every serious lead player should know: how to practice to become the best you can be. That's a good thing to know, how to practice. A lot of people do not know how to practice. It's one of the things I try and teach my students and people who watch this channel is how to practice to get the most out of your playing, for sure, because there's efficient ways of doing it and very inefficient ways. So this book provides a complete understanding of all the skills of lead guitar as seen from a practical playing viewpoint. By breaking down the complexity of lead playing into component skills, you can focus on each part of the picture and improve faster. This book will show you what a lead style is, what factors and skills go into it, and how to develop these most quickly. It will help you express yourself on the guitar and develop your own personal lead style. This book is designed with the serious guitarist in mind. This isn't the kind of book that you can whip through in a few weeks, and it's not something you will outgrow. It is something that you can use for years because these skills will always apply. As good as you get at any skill taught here, you can still get better and become a better musician. I like that. That's good. Designed with the serious guitar player in mind and can't whip through it in a few weeks. Well, we're going to kind of do that, but we're not trying to get the most out of it while working through it all anyway. Continuing. If you are a beginner, you should approach it with patience. That's good. You need to learn the skills presented here, so take your time. No one becomes a great guitarist overnight. It takes time. I'm glad he said that. That's a very good piece of information right there. A lot of people where a lot of things are advertised, these few tricks to becoming a great guitar player and crap like that, making you think you just got to do like one little tweak and then you're amazing in no time at all. So I like that he put that in there, that this takes a long time, got to be patient with it. Continuing. For some of you, this material may not all be new, and any guitarist with well-developed technique has, knowingly or unknowingly, already used many of these principles and techniques. There is usually a direct relationship between the amount of this type of practicing and the level of mastery attained. With this book, however, for the first time, these principles and techniques are structured together in a very comprehensive manner and applied to rock guitar. Some ideas presented here have been pulled from established violin and piano pedagogy as well. The skills you will be developing can be divided into 3 categories: mechanical ability, rhythmic ability, and creativity. The mechanical aspect deals with the most obvious part, the physical motions to play the notes. It includes left and right hand techniques, methods of developing speed and articulation, etc. Rhythmic ability is the ability to feel solid and exact timing. This is, of course, an absolute necessity for every good musician. Damn right. Damn right. I feel that rhythm is the most important thing for any musician. That's why I like to say, if your rhythm sucks, everything suffers. Continuing. In the end, creativity is a most important aspect of playing that is, unfortunately, too often left to chance by guitarists. Creativity involves choosing what notes to play. It deals with developing your musical imagination. Of course, the material in this book is not the only thing that you should practice. That's good. Glad he said that. Continuing, it covers how to practice and what skills you need to practice, but you must apply these principles to the music you like. Good. All the nuts and bolts in the world are useless until someone puts them together in such a way to make, say, a car. Then you can drive it. The riffs, exercises, and the few selections of music provided are here just to get you on the track of how these practice principles work. Then you can build your own car. This book is a practice manual, a structured system that covers every skill you must have to get complete mastery over the guitar. It shows you where you need to put in your time. So I like that, the foreword for the most part there. I always take issue with saying something covers every possible thing because, well, again, this was put out in 1990. I'm sure there has to be something left out in terms of like shred guitar playing or rock guitar playing, because it did say it was geared towards rock guitar. But anyway, that's me being pedantic and nitpicky, but god damn it, I feel those things are important. So I'm assuming it's going to cover a lot of skills, but that one I probably not. Anyway, comments here. Let's see. Andrew said, have it, and the book is a beast, though, the updated one, 4 times the length of the original. Does it cover like the same kind of techniques and then just more details with it? What do you think? Deaf World, hello, sir. Good to see you on. Do you have this book, Mr. Deaf World? Have you played through it and learned everything? Not me. All right, the introduction here just goes over how to read tablature stuff. We don't need to go through that. I hope I know how to read tab by now. So, all right, part 1. The mechanics of practicing exercises. The basic motions, the left hand, the right hand. rock guitar emojis. All right. Let's see, is this worth reading here? Yeah, let's go through this. I'm not going to worry about. But anyway, let's just read it. And if it seems like it's not worth going through, or we'll just play it by ear. Anyway, for the lead guitarist who truly wants to master the guitar, a playing technique must be developed that will allow him or her to play anything that the imagination can conjure up, any sequence of notes. A consistent format must be developed that can accommodate the myriad possibilities inherent in the instrument, rather than taking a haphazard approach of learning each lick as a special case with its own picking sequence. In the section, The Basic Motions, the foundation for this format is laid. Left-hand exercises establish control, accuracy, and finger independence. Then, cross-string alternating picking is focused on. Each motion is isolated, analyzed, practiced separately, and then used in the context of runs and licks. Next, in the art of practicing, you'll learn how to practice most effectively. You'll learn how to pinpoint what you need to work on, and how to design your own exercises to overcome your specific weaknesses. You'll also learn several different practice techniques to achieve better articulation, control, and speed. The piece Flight of the Bumblebee finishes this section and allows you the opportunity to apply these practice techniques. Building speed is next, offering a number of exercises, scale fragments, and sequences that will help you to become faster by focusing on specific repetitive patterns. Finally, in sweep picking, various sweeping techniques are covered in detail. The mechanics of practicing exercises. Exercises are tools to improve particular skills. They enable you to focus directly on a technique so that you can develop it faster. By practicing certain exercises correctly, you can accomplish in a matter of weeks or months what otherwise may take years. Slow down. That's what it says, is slow down. Play slowly enough to play without mistakes. Yes. Yes. Do that. I like that advice. Real quick break from this to respond to YouTube comment. Andrew uses his own songs to teach. It focuses on rhythm and builds from there. Very different from the original book. Like it, but it's intimidating. Oh. Well, I'll have to check that one out too then. Although if I'm going to have to learn all his songs, that's going to be problematic because, well, that takes a lot of time. Anyway, back to this. Slow down. Play slowly enough to play without mistakes. I approve. Your fingers will move just as you train them to move. If you practice something fast and sloppy 100 times, why should you expect that 101st time, or why would you expect that the 101st time will suddenly become clean and precise? Yes! Yes, yes, yes! I fucking talk about that all the time. All the time. Practice doesn't make perfect, only perfect practice makes perfect. So yeah, you play shit wrong all the time and you slop through it and just hope that it's suddenly going to be better. It's not. It's not. It's not. Okay, I like that. Anyway, let's read that again. It's important. If you practice something fast and sloppy 100 times, why should you expect that the 101st time will suddenly become clean and precise? However, if you practice something 100 times perfectly, you can be sure that the next time will be perfect as well. Well, you can't be sure that it's going to be perfect, but you got a much better chance that it'll be perfect. I mean, I could play something perfect many times, but then I'll still make a mistake later on. So mistakes still happen even if you play something perfect 100 times. You have a much better chance of playing it perfectly again. But anyway, again, I'm being a pedantic asshole. You can play almost any combination of notes perfectly if you play them slowly enough. Fingers trained slowly, and therefore more accurately, will be much steadier and more confident. Fingers trained only fast are less controlled and are likely to freeze up if you get a little nervous. Think quality, not quantity. Yes, quality first. Yes, yes, yes. Avoid mental blocks. If you concentrate so hard that you begin to strain, then tension and anxiety build up to do it right this time. This pressure actually causes you to make more mistakes and just adds to the frustration. Don't rush yourself. Keep an even and flowing rhythm as you practice. The natural movement associated with rhythm directly opposes the rigidity and stiffness that causes a mental block. Concentrate on the purpose of the exercise. Since exercises are designed to focus on developing a certain skill, you should be aware of what that exercise is designed to accomplish and concentrate on that as you practice. I think going through this little story time kind of deal is going to show people how dumb I am at reading. Anyway, don't spend too long on one exercise. Ooh, okay. When a person begins weightlifting, We got us a weightlifting analogy. All right. When a person begins weightlifting, the initial efforts are very tiring. By resting, then working out, then resting again over and over, the person gets stronger. That is true. It's the same with playing guitar. If you play something over and over for too long, you will reach a point where you actually begin to get worse. Yeah, absolutely. The best thing to do is rest the particular muscles that you have been working. Play something different, then come back to it later, and you'll be surprised how much easier it becomes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is a mistake people still make to this day. They do something way too long, and that's why with my students I have time limits listed at the top of their files, at the Guitar profile, saying practice this for this amount of time, this amount of time, that amount of time, to try and keep things balanced and not overdone. Of course, not everybody follows that advice, and then problems happen. Those time limits are there for a reason, damn it. Follow them. Anyway, caution. If something becomes painful to do, don't push it. Stop. You can damage your muscles and tendons, which can take a long time to heal. Like an athlete, always make sure that you are warmed up well before attempting any exercises that require a lot of strength or stretching. So with that one there, like, yes, if you feel pain in the joints or the tendons, yeah, that you definitely need to stop. Don't push joint pain. Never, never do that. Muscle pain, if you feel it in the muscle, I think it's fine. Like if it's like a really strange pain and like god-awful painful and it's just like, I don't know, feels like you just got stabbed, yeah, that's not good. But if it's pain as if you're in the gym and you're lifting and, lactic acid buildup type thing, that's fine. Like, that's necessary to build speed and endurance. You have to push yourself to a level of discomfort. Same thing in the gym. You don't grow when you're comfortable. So there's some growing pains involved. Joint pain, don't push it. Muscle pain, you're probably fine. But, just, yes, be careful with it. But, yeah, joints start hurting, that's a bad thing, and you got to back off on that. All right, so then he goes into, like, basic motion here. Talks about left-hand stuff. I'm going to skip that. Yeah, just kind of like talking about fretting there. All right, so I'm going to skip that part of the book. All right, exercises for finger independence. All right, it's almost time to play. Almost time to play. The degree to which each of your left hand fingers can make a movement without affecting the other fingers is called finger independence. With better finger independence, your left hand will stay more relaxed, and new note patterns will come under your fingers more quickly and with less practice. Set your amp for a clean, Set your amp for a clean, undistorted sound so that you can really hear what your fingers are doing. And use the back of the neck position for your thumb. As with all exercises, practice slowly enough to play it perfectly and feel a steady rhythm without hesitating between or rushing notes. The key is accuracy and control, not speed. Concentrate on keeping your fingers close to the strings at all times, fretting the strings in the space right behind the frets, playing on your fingertips, lifting each finger as the next comes down. So this is all hammer. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be hammer on from nothing or a pull-offs. They're all, no, they're picking the first note there. Okay. So basically, yeah, so this is like where a lot of people will start off, and I don't think it's necessary to have it be clean. We'll do it because he said to do it here. I should have grabbed my table to put the book on over here. But, let me see. Let me get to it. How does that one sound? That's a delay. Nope. Clean. All right, let me see how. Oof, that's way too loud. That's not a good sound. Alright, there we go. That should work. Although that patch level is way too freaking loud. Alright. Okay, so I'll turn off the delay and the reverb, or at least as much as I can here. So the exercise is basically this. He's got, it's just one of these chromatic things. This is like probably where so much of this stuff is perpetuated. The classic book, right? There are some instances where I can see this being a good thing, but like maybe if you're like a total beginner, I can see some benefit to this. But for the most part, I'm not a big fan of these kinds of exercises. And it's basically this shit. And he was teaching the hammer, having you do hammer-ons, and then you go up a fret. And one issue with a book like this is, like, without seeing it, you know, beginners aren't going to understand what the hell a hammer-on is, what a pull-off is, things like that. It does have an explanation in the tab, or like how to read tab, like what this stuff is. But the idea of like, oh, it needs to be a clean sound, like, well, why? Why does it need to be a clean sound? And he says, like, so you can hear the notes. Like, my thing is, if your goal is to play with distortion, play with distortion. Like, I think that's a very important thing. If you want to play with distortion, play with distortion. Because you need to learn how to mute things anyway, and that's one of the issues with playing clean or practicing clean when you want to play distorted, is unwanted string noise is harder to identify and correct when you're playing on a clean channel. So having distortion on is actually helpful for that. And saying to always play on the fingertips, like, this is like partial fingertips. The way I look at it is kind of like, for this sort of thing, like more like a 45-degree angle, because you need to have, like, especially your index finger, flat enough that it covers up those higher pitched strings that you're not using. So yeah, it's kind of going up like that, and then it has different things like 1/4, first, second, and fourth, first, third, and fourth, and then we got and then he's going. All right, that's a weird one. I guess this is what I could practice, isn't it? And so, even though I'm just going on saying I don't really like going through those kinds of exercises, it's like, well, could there be benefits to it? Yes. Again, if like you're a beginner, doing the chromatic stuff could be beneficial just to get your fingers moving. I am more of a fan of using something that's actually in a scale that is more musical, something that you're more likely to come across in what you play. Does that mean you're not going to come across chromatic stuff in what you play? Not at all. Like, there's plenty of chromatic things out there. It work quite well. But I've had some students do chromatic type things, and that's like, but it's because their fingers were just really being stubborn, disobedient SOBs. Like, it was like, okay, let's try and do something like here where you have like all these different, I guess, permutations is the word. I told you, these streams are going to make me show you how dumb I can be. You know, like different variations of it, like, you know, instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, you know, things like that, or and just like all these different variations there, because their fingers just would not separate and be cooperative. So there's some benefit every now and then for some people, but this idea, like, people doing these chromatic things for their warm-ups, just up and down the entire fretboard, as many variations as they can think of, I think that's a tremendous waste of time for most people. And that reminds me, like, he talked about the warm-up stuff earlier, like, and actually the new student, he asked me this, like, what do I do for warm-ups? I just play. And, like, following the metronome method that I constantly talk about, That's going to get you warmed up right there, like starting at the 60 and going up in small increments for whatever it is you're working on, the speed you're trying to push and things like that. That's going to get you warmed up, just following that method right there. Like, I don't think you should try pushing your max speed right out the gate. If I do that, my elbow feels bad. It feels funny, so I do like little bursts and then gradually increase the endurance of like playing fast and whatnot. So it's just do a little, and then a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And that's really, I feel, the best way to get warmed up. Like, use something practical, something you were going to be using and playing anyway. You don't need like a separate warm-up routine unless you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, that's fine. But it's like warm-up routines to me on guitar are like as pointless as like I'm sure that it's fine for some people, but for the most part, like foam rolling, band work, being on cardio machine for X amount of time before you actually go and lift when you're going into the gym, most of that stuff is a waste of time. You don't need to do it. If you're going to do squats for the day, you just go in and squat. You can start body weight, then you add the bar, and then a little bit more weight, then eventually you have your working weight. So same thing with guitar. Like, you don't need to do a bunch of extra stuff to get warmed up. Just play what you were going to play. Start off slow and then slowly work it up. Or instead of, if you want to work on endurance things and practice being used to going fast right out the gate, just do it for like a second, then do it a couple seconds, a few more seconds. So yeah, that's my view on chromatic exercises and the warming up to be able to play and practice. Just play, damn it. All right, so the next thing here, trill exercises. A trill is 2 notes played in rapid alternation. Keep your finger that plays the lower note anchored down on the fret. To eliminate unwanted string noise, touch lightly and mute the adjacent string with your first finger. Fantastic. Yep, exactly. You need to do that. A slash means to repeat the preceding group of notes. So exercise 6 uses a minor pentatonic scale pattern, which is shown below. So he actually is starting he's starting below the root note on this one. So you raise the pattern up one position and repeat. Continue up the neck to reach the A position of 1 octave higher. So let me grab this real quick. This can help. I moved a table out in the living room and I don't feel like grabbing it right now. Don't want to interrupt the flow of the stream too much. So I use this stepping stool I do my calf raises on. That was the clink of a weight. Alright. This room is a frickin' mess. So, although, here I'll switch to the, I'll stay on this one. I do recommend practicing this stuff without delay and reverb. Having a dry sound really is a better way to go. I just don't feel like changing settings on stuff right now. So anyway, so what we have here. Oh, he has his all first and third. Okay. Does he have a BPM on this? There's no BPM. So I think he's just stuff to do kind of thing. Well, let's see. Can I play it at the shred speed? 12 notes per second. Oh, that was right. Fine thing to play. Typically for the 5 and 8 stretch, or the minor third distance there, I would want to use the pinky, but we'll just keep going through what he says here. So this, it says, raise the pattern up one position and repeat. Continue up the neck to reach the A position 1 octave higher. So, yeah, I mean, that would be fine for, like, drilling the ever-living hell out of that motion. And, like, you're going to get freaking tired. Like, your forearm is going to hurt. It's going to hurt. So if you're going to do this, remember to breathe. Where the hell was I? I think I just did that. Then here. God damn. So yeah, this is killing my forearm right now. So if you do this without a metronome, that's totally fine. Just kind of pace yourself when you do it, because this alone will work the hell out of your endurance on that forearm. Using the ring finger. God damn. Oh, I played it wrong. God damn, and shake it out too. Good Lord. Whew. God damn, this is so fucking hard. Woo! God, I fucked that up. God damn it. Ow! Man! Man! Woo! Ow! Yeah, so that'll beat the crap out of your forearm and build some serious endurance working through that for sure. And I like that a lot better than the chromatic thing because it's doing something more musical. Even though it's still kind of chromatic because it's just going up one fret at a time like that. But yeah, that'll work the hell out of that forearm. Back YouTube comments. Andrew, breathing and playing at the same time is difficult. Yeah, I'm trying to remember to do that. I don't have enough brain cells to handle that many tasks. Plastidon. LOL, yep, gotta breathe. Used to do each finger trills for 2 minutes each. Ow. Do 4 reps and it was so brutal. Yeah. You feel like you got good results from that? Oh man. So yeah, going up like that is fine. Kind of gets you used to the different places on the fretboard. So I can see benefit to that. Like what I've been doing with this type of 6-note grouping that I've been working on. I'll just kind of work up just the same 2 patterns, up and down the same 2 patterns, until my arm kind of craps out, then I shake it out and try it again. So, because I try and keep it simple, this way I'm working on the endurance of the exercise or the technique, just trying to get the pattern more and more familiar, get my brain used to like the group of 6 notes that way. Anyway, yeah, what he has there, I'm behind that one. Plastidon says, yep, it helped a lot because short bursts felt like you could fly. Yeah, there you go. Totally. All right, let's see. Next deal. The next exercise uses a variation on the trill. The first finger remains anchored throughout each group of notes. There are, however, more than 2 notes in the sequence. Experiment with different trill patterns and different scales. So, Now, that's one of those things with like instruction books and courses that like I try and do different, and I can understand why, the old-fashioned printed book, why you would say something like that. Just like basically, here's an example, try more stuff, because there's only so much you can put in the printed book, right? Of course, look at the Guitar Grimoire. That thing is freaking gigantic. But yeah, you got to kind of decide like, well, how much stuff are you really going to put in a course? Even with like the shred training programs I'm currently working on. I'm working on the Legato one right now, just writing the material, getting the tabs together to put out there before any video stuff is made. And that's basically my goal right now. Get the material written, tabbed out, and put in order and whatnot. I'll type some instruction on like how to approach the material, so it's not just here's stuff and have at it. Anyway, just the videos, that's got to wait. So same with like any audio. Anyway, my goal is to try and provide enough steps in material so this way when people get stuck on like full exercises and they're like, well, I'm not getting anywhere with this. What am I supposed to do? And then you'll have like all these other steps to help get you to that next level. But yeah, anyway. So let's see what we got here. This is all just on the B string, it looks like. Yeah, he is. Actually, he does use the same fingering I do for that. Oh no, he goes back down. Oh, okay. Oof. God, yeah. I mean, just doing stuff like that, that'll definitely work the hell out of your endurance for sure. Alright. Moving on. Exercise 8 is a killer. Uh-oh. This is particularly good for developing finger independence between your second, third, and fourth fingers. Concentrate on keeping all of the notes even, practice slowly, and remember, if it becomes painful, stop. Of course, it gets painful, and I'm like, push through it, damn it! Build that endurance, come on! Let's see. Alright, we'll go slow at first. So we got... Oop. God damn it. Nope. I better slow it down. I keep goofing it up. Yeah, that's a weird one. So yeah, more chromatic stuff. And yeah, you can definitely work the crap out of your hammer-ons and pull-offs for sure. It says repeat on strings 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, then shift into the second position and repeat on strings 6. Jesus, man. So yeah, this is kind of like, yeah, you could do it. It'll work the crap out of your hand, but like, I mean, how long are you going to do that? Like, this is not something I would, like, to do it on all the strings, like going down and then up each position and just like kind of up, down, all over the place. Like, this is not something I would have any student of mine or who I'd recommend to anybody, like, to spend a bunch of time doing. Like, maybe once just to see if you can do it. If you enjoy it, it feels fun to do, then that's a different story. But it's... I don't know. I feel like I'm more like too exercisey based, but I guess you could argue practical reasons for it. But I'm just not a big fan of these kinds of things. I don't feel like they're really all that necessary, But I'm just small potatoes, so what the hell do I know? Anyway, hammering on to a new string. Hammer-ons can also be played on a string without having played a previous note on it. That's true. Hammer on from nothing. Let's see. Keep your fingers down as shown. Use your first finger to mute adjacent strings where necessary. Where necessary or when necessary? Let's see. So he just has tiny little things here, just repeating over and over again. Interesting. So basically, man, it's not easy to. I'm trying to not pick that B string. That's so weird. So that's one. Another one we got. So that's something I would need to practice to get going quick, because I want to keep picking both of them. Anyway, and the next one we got. Interesting. I think that one kind of needs some explanation. I know the audio comes with this that you can listen to, because, yeah, he's got like two 30-second notes at the beginning there. It's supposed to like play all that like at the beginning of the beat. And this one you got. Odd that he would pick that one. Yeah, so he'll do the hammer on from nothing to the B string, but not the G string. Alright, and then we got, here are 8 patterns in the A minor scale. Improvise in these positions. Fingerings and detailed explanation is given on the cassette. Alright, well, so without listening to the cassette or the online file now. Anyway, back to YouTube comments. Dave Murray is a perfect example at great trill technique. Yes, yes, he is. Just going down the old pentatonic. Definitely a signature to his solos. Exercise 14 incorporates open strings. You shouldn't pick a single note. Notice that the first note is hammered, not picked. Ooh. Alright, so what do we got here? This will definitely be challenging for a lot of people when it comes to, because this is on the G string. So here's something where I would have people, oh, yes, you are number one right now. Plastodon is number one on YouTube for the community leaderboard. He has accumulated the most experience points. So yeah, he's got this exercise on the G string. Problem with that is like pulling off to the open string. People are gonna have a hard time not having the extra strings ringing out. Usually, if I have the students learning how to pull off to an open string, start with the E string to get the motion down. Because when you start going to like the B string or any of the other strings there, you got to be really careful not to hit, the adjacent string there and have it ring out. But let's try this anyway. So we got what, 8. Then we go straight to the D string after that. Okay. Sounds interesting. I like that being the, an exercise play that sounds musical. Certainly work your pinky a bit. Tristan, hello. You just woke up. That's right. You're in Australia, I believe. I think my Lord Potato. I think they did a super chat and it didn't or like paid 99 cents for an emoji or a sticker and it didn't get her the crown. I see what you did there. Thank you. Well, hell. Oh, Andrew's given money a few times on this. Oh, Plaston, you did once. Andrew's done it a few times. Tristan did as well. Should have permanent crowns. Alright, sequence exercises. A sequence is a series of melodic ideas that repeats identically, except that it may begin at lower or higher pitches. Scales sequenced in groups of 3, triplets, make particularly good left-hand exercises. Alright. So now we're getting musical, so I certainly like these ideas more. What do we got here? Oh, he's got that, just a hammer on from nothing on that as well. Oh, did I go too far? No. See, I just prefer picking it more and the string changes of always doing a hammer on from nothing. But I wonder if there is benefit to not picking it. Nope, not supposed to pick that. I was getting something but musical there. Let's work on this one. It's interesting not picking all those things. And Andrew wants it back. Did it work? No! Hey, there you are, and you got it! You got the number 1 back. Thank you. Uh-oh. Number 6. That is a bummer. Alright, yeah, let's work on this one. Let's work this one up. Let's see if I can get used to this lack of picking pattern. I wasn't supposed to pick that. I wasn't supposed supposed to pick that either. Damn it! That's such a habit to pick it. So yeah, breaking this down into smaller pieces I think would be very beneficial for people. Like, isn't this one of those things that like I try and do with these shred training programs that I'm putting together? And some of it's out already. At least the picking part is. I wonder if he talks about this in the audio. So I don't know. He might talk about this in the audio portion of the course. We're not going to listen to that because, you know, can't give away everything here. You are a free man. That's not right. That is. Anyway, so yeah, breaking something like this down into smaller pieces, like the recommendation to do that would be very helpful for a lot of people, I feel. Because, like, I guarantee people are going to start going through this thing, especially if you're a beginner, and it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. You probably run into the same issue I'm running into, because you've already been playing for a long time. You're going to be picking things that are not marked as being picked. So, you know, breaking it down, like, in between the picks parts would be a good thing. You know, maybe a couple beats at a time. Breaking it down into a bar at a time would be really helpful. It's just like having something like this, like, broken down into more buildable pieces, I think would be very helpful, instead of just talking about, you know, play it slow and perfect, which is good, but it's like when things become difficult, you need to know how to break things down into smaller pieces so you can start making more progress. Like, I can't even play this damn thing at 60, you know, going through this for the first time yet, because of I'm just, my brain has been programmed to pick more often. So I would get through this faster by breaking it down into smaller pieces, so I get used to not picking when you're not supposed to pick. So I guess I won't be working this up because it'll take a lot of time there. But yeah, that's what I recommend there. So if anyone has gotten this, what is this, example 15, and you're having a rough time with it, break it down into smaller pieces. Like, so that's like from pick to pick note there, and then you got, nope, see, I already did it again. So pick note to pick note, that's a good one right there. That's another phrase to work up on its own. And then another one to work on right there, because that's just the first note's picked of that phrase. So that would be a good thing to work up on its own, as well as the last bit. Nope. Oh. It's right there. So it seems like he favors picking when you go up to a higher string, but not a lower string. Okay, interesting. And that's what he talked about. As you said, hammer-outs can also be played on a string without having played a previous note. It says, notice how smooth it sounds. Yeah, it does. It can be, have a nice smooth sound to it. Interesting. So, yeah, he'll hammer on from nothing when going to a lower string, but up to a higher string, that's where he picks again. So it seems like a worthwhile technique to practice. That is a worthwhile technique to practice. No, I'm curious about doing that. Andrew, you say he doesn't talk in the audio, he's just playing examples. Oh, well, damn. I wonder why LP didn't take over number one for donation. I have no idea. Yeah, it is weird being discriminated against somehow. So, Andrew, the part here where it says, see if you remember. It says, here are 8 patterns in the A minor scale, improvised in these positions, fingerings, and detailed explanation is given on the cassette. So, in that audio, like, he talks about that sort of thing there, but then other than that, he's just playing the examples, no guidance on how to break things down. So, how long have we been on this? Okay. We've been close to an hour, I think, on this. I'm trying to look at a good place to call it, because I want to get some, do some tab inputting, some tab writing. Alright, then we're going to kind of finish this section up here until it gets to the right hand technique. Alright, so, I need some water. Really? I wonder if they added something in. I wonder why they would. Well, damn. How often do I use the foot pedal part of the boss? Oh, like the expression pedal? Hardly ever. Almost never. I might use it to turn the volume off real quick, but that's about it. Okay, so let's see. Continuing on. Notice the sequences used in the licks below. These licks, combining the Dorian mode with the blues scale, are typical of the West Coast style of lead playing, i.e. George Lynch, Warren D. Martini. The blues scale is a minor pentatonic scale with the additional flat fifth tone. It says C Heavy Metal Lead Guitar Volume 1, Parts 3 and 4. I don't have that. The Dorian mode is like the minor scale, except that the 6th tone is raised 1 fret. See Heavy Metal Lead Guitar Volume 2, Part 7 for an explanation of modes. So, let's see. This one's even got some bends in it. So, interesting how that would be thrown in there without any discussion of bends prior. Okay, so there's 2 different licks on here. So yeah, so you basically need to know how to do bends before you attempt that lick that I'm looking at here. So that's one of the, I mean, that makes sense. You know, you can't have everything taught all the time in these things, but let's see. But yeah, I'm also kind of thinking like, well, it's supposed to cover every technique for these things. So why wouldn't bend discussion have happened? Why wouldn't that happen prior to having a bend used? So the explanation on how to get proper hammer-ons and pull-offs would be beneficial, at least in the audio. Anyway, read these YouTube comments here first, and then we'll attempt some licks. Andrew says, could be wrong, but only browse through everything and then put it away, like I do with books. Read enough work out. Maybe it would be worth checking out the audio off the stream, so I'm not giving away too many things in the stream. Not being disrespectful by doing that. Trying not to be disrespectful. Tristan says, it's weird they set it as a volume pedal, same with GT1. Well, it could be changed from a volume to like a wah pedal. And I think pitch shifter too. It just depends on how you set it up. I'm playing like going from clean to distorted, vice versa. I have an Axe-Fx 3. We don't have the foot controller on the expensive side yet. Just not sure if it should. Notice the patch button changes are going from distortion to clean. Oh. Well, yeah, I just have it set to where I'll press the you know, the button to change sounds altogether, not like it's not like a multi-effects board to where you got to push everything on and off like that. No, I don't use it that way. Like, kind of why I want the multi-effects thing in the first place. So I hit one button and everything is switched that I want, and I don't have to hit this, and this to get to the new sound. All right, we got E minor chord. Let's see what we got here. This got it marked as 16th note triplets, which I do not recommend most people start with. If I started with that, even though I can play sextuplets or 16th note triplets quick, because this pattern is new to me, that would be a terrible idea. And I definitely recommend you start it with 8th note triplets instead. This one's much easier than the previous one because I only got to worry about picking twice. Ugh. He has a downstroke marked on that second pick, but I was defiant and I did an up. That time I obeyed. I don't know, doing the upstroke feels like it's cleaner to me. Feels like it's out of the way more. Nope, I shouldn't have picked. All right, now I'm ready for the 6 notes to click. Woo, boy. All right, that's definitely getting hard. Let's stop there. Tristan says on YouTube, the Boss FS7 foot switch is great value. Have one paired with the GT1 for switching patches like that. GT1, oh that's right. It's a different pedal. All right. Oof. I may not get to the end here. Let me just try. There's a lot of bend stuff. Okay, let me just run through this last lick here and then move on to tab input. Get a little bit done today. Let's see. This one we have the 8th notes here. So we got 1 and. Let me just do it like this. No. No, string skip. We'll work on that next time. All right, so that concludes day 1 of working through speed mechanics for lead guitar, mastering lead guitar technique by Troy Stetna.